Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4. And this week we're talking about chapter 6. So we did skip ahead to chapter 6. Just a heads up on that. Positive and neutral messages. So these are messages that the recipient is not going to mind hearing. They're not bad news, right? It's positive, good news, or neutral messages, things that people wouldn't be distressed about. Learning outcome 1 is just to understand that there are many different channels or many different ways that positive messages might be delivered. So it might be an email, a memo, which is an internal communication. So to your employees, you would write a memo. To a client, you might write an email or a business letter. And to think about specifically how business letters should be formatted, but a lot of things are formatted similarly to business memos in the business world. So it's a good format to know. So positive and neutral message characteristics. They have the following traits. So one, they're routine and straightforward. It might be a communication that someone's used to receiving, like a quarterly report. It's just sort of business as usual. They help workers conduct everyday business. There might be things that they need to know, for example, about an upcoming accreditation visit, something like that. They make up the bulk of workplace communications. So this is the good news, that positive and neutral messages are most of what we're doing on a daily basis. And they do require solid writing skills, which we've been working on. I hope you feel like you've learned a few things so far. So channels used for positive messages, again, could be email, memo, letter, potentially even social media network, and it could be outreach to people through social media network. For example, if you were having some evening appointments for mammograms for working women, that might be something that goes out on social media. Possibly blogs. Maybe you have a blog at your repair shop about how to get your vehicle ready for winter and what services to consider, and possibly even text messages, especially among coworkers, right? Or supervisors and employees, that might happen. Okay, so understanding business letters. It might seem odd that in 2024, we're talking about business letters, but there are reasons why the paper letter is still in existence. It's still the preferred communication channel for external communications in certain situations. So if you're writing to a supplier or a government agency that oversees your work, a vendor or customer, there might be a good reason to put it in writing. It encourages feedback, it projects a favorable image of the organization, it promotes future business, and it's really a legal document as well. Provides a permanent record. It's confidential, so it's not going to get intercepted probably electronically. It's more formal. It accompanies a contract. You probably received a printed contract of your work contract, for example, or got it in a format where you could print it out for your records. It can explain terms, share ideas, negotiate agreements, answer vendor questions, or maintain customer relations. And it's really this provides a legal document, right? You can say, this was sent on this date, this was signed by this person, right? This is how we've settled what we're doing, right? What we've negotiated, perhaps. You don't need to be able to read this example. This is just showing the format of the business letter. So you can notice that up here is the business logo, the business name, and it has the address and the phone number. There's a blank line and then the date, the month, the day, and the year. And then this is the recipient's address. It's called the inside address. This is who you're sending it to. Then there's a greeting, dear so-and-so, right? And this is optional, but you might have a subject line, just sort of like in an email, right? That sets up what this letter is about. Then notice this is the block format. There are no indents on the paragraphs. There's one blank line between each paragraph. And there's this is the jagged right margin. So only the left margin is straight up and down. This also does notice some bold for 3 subheadings here: preventative care, basic services, and hospitalization. This is about a veterinary visit. It ends with how to contact us, what to do next, and then it's signed off with the person's type name and their signature. Type name and their job title, because it's hard to read our signatures. We know that. So you give people both. So this is just so you know what it looks like. This is the standard business letter format. called block formatting because each paragraph's in a block. You do have some work this week about instructions, so I wanted to make sure to highlight this a little bit. For any message, whether it's instruction or not, because you have something on open subject lines and opening sentences as well, the subject line should be as short as you can make it and still encapsulate the key part of the message. So if you can do that in the subject line, like if it is, say, health benefit sign up. As an employee, I'm going to open that because I don't want to miss my chance to sign up for my health benefits, right? You just don't want to say important, right? Or something like that. Health benefit sign up needs to be that specific. And then the opening sentence, you want to go right to the heart of it. Employees will have the opportunity to sign up for health benefits from October 3rd to October 31st, whatever it is, right? And then it's going to explain how to do it. So don't start off with the backstory. Don't start off with what we did last year. Nothing extraneous. You want to go right to what's the key thing the person needs to know. Put that in the first sentence. Then in the body, you can present the instructions or the orderly steps. What website do they need to go to? What link? Is there a password? If so, how do they log in? What do they need to know about completing this, right, et cetera. So arranging the items vertically with numbers if it's something they need to do step by step, and then beginning each step with an action verb using the imperative mood. So imperative means command, like close the door. So close and close the door is imperative mood. Imperative mood has an implied subject. So if you walk in the room and I'm the only other person in there and you say, close the door, I know you're talking to me. You don't have to say you close the door, right? Just close the door, please close the door. I'm going to do it, right? So that's the imperative or command mood. It starts with that active verb of whatever you want the person to do. And they give the example here, sign the document. Sign and return the document. We've got two imperative verbs there. So that's what imperative means. That's in your homework also. And then you want to close with a request for a specific action, summarize the message, or present a closing thought. So if it was signing up for health benefits, for example, you'd want to make it clear that if you need to do it by the certain date, right? Because the window closes, right? And that you will, once you've signed up, you'll receive a message confirming your choices, right? Something like that. If you have questions, who do you need to talk to? Someone in HR, et cetera. This is just a quick example of instruction message. So this is an email. We know who it's to and from, and it's new procedure for submitting travel expenses. So I know before I even open it that this is going to tell me what I need to know about my upcoming trip, how to get reimbursed for my travel expenses for work. Effective immediately, please follow this procedure for submitting your travel expenses. Complete sentence followed by a colon to introduce a list. And then here's so this went right to the point, right? Here's what you need to know about submitting travel expenses. Doesn't talk about, last year we had a lot of problems with the way people submitted it. Nothing, no backstory, right? Just went right to the point. And then a numbered list because we're going to do these in this specific order. So first, make sure you retain detailed itemized receipts for expenses of $25 or more. 2, download the new employee expense report form from our intranet. 3, prepare the report within 30 days of your trip. And 4, submit to your manager. So you're going to retain, download, prepare, and submit. That's that imperative mode, each one starting with the active verb. Then ends with the closing. By following the streamlined reporting procedure, you should receive your reimbursement within 60 days of submission. We all want to be reimbursed if we had to spend money on work travel. So letting you know this, and then here's who I can contact, right, if I have questions. So just a quick example of instruction messages. I also wanted to mention, because I think this comes up, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's this week, but intranet is something that it is a real word, and it's in a company when it is an internal system, so that it's not the internet, but it's an intranet. Only people within that system can access it. It's a way of keeping your key information from being hacked. So it is a real word, not one we see every day. Reacting to customer comments online. We have the power now as customers, right, to make comments about what went right, what went wrong in our interactions with different companies, which is really powerful. It can make your customers brand ambassadors or short cheerleaders for your brand or your institution, or the opposite, right? It can be detractors. So as someone who's working for a particular company or institution, you want to develop strategies that can help employees decide how to respond in a positive way. So one of these ways is, for example, creating a decision tree or guideline to help people understand how to respond. So that could be a form of instructions. Most important things to remember, you want to stay positive, don't use negative language, be transparent, right? Be honest, be timely, and be helpful. So we're going to talk about this more next week, I believe, when we're talking about responding to criticisms or negative messages, but those are just some quick reminders. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Hope you have a great week. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I will see you next week.